Alright, so in this SpeedCubeShop unboxing, we've got 3 puzzles. This one over here is the Cosmic Valk Power M. We have the Galaxy V2 Megaminx and also the GAN249 V2. So we'll just go ahead and get started with the Cosmic Valk Power M first. Alright, so here is the puzzle. So right off the bat, you can tell that I did actually get a new sort of sticker shade for the blue. And so this one is called the Brilliant Blue, and I normally like fluorescent blue, but I wanted to go ahead and try maybe a little darker shade. And right off the bat, I don't really like it. It looks a little too purplish for me, but I did luckily get another single of fluorescent blue for it. So I think I will end up switching it, but we'll just go ahead and see how this thing performs. Yep, of course it's gummy, it's a cosmic cube, but I'm sure it'll break in super nicely, as with all my other cosmic cubes that I've gotten. And so the Valk power is definitely really smooth, and if you've seen my unboxing on it, first impressions, I actually didn't really like it. It was just a little too slow compared to the original Valk, and it felt a little too heavy for me. But once I set it up and I did some actual averages with it, I found that it really suited my turning style super well. It was really stable, very controllable, but it wasn't overly slow. So I wanted to go ahead and try this cosmic version because I'm sure it is just a ton better than the setup I've put onto my regular Valk power. So this puzzle is definitely speeding up, but it's still a lot more gummy than I'd like it to be, so I'll just have to do some averages and solves to break it all in. But as for the magnets, these are actually the magnets placed by the factory, and of course it is a very, very tricky puzzle to magnetize, so I definitely don't blame SpeedCubeShop because there is a lot of room for error, but the magnets I actually do really like. In my unboxing and first impressions of the regular just Valk Power M, I thought the magnets were a little too light, but after I set it up and I did a lot of solves, I found that it was actually perfect strength for me, and even now, you can sort of see too that it is relatively noticeable. So it's definitely not extremely light. You do feel them, and it does definitely help with alignment and all that. And so really the main difference between the Valk power and the regular Valk is the feeling. The Valk power is really just a GTS2 mixed with the regular Valk, and it just overall feels a little bit more substantial and just a bit smoother than the regular Valk in my opinion. And so I would say if you're someone that really likes smoother and soft feeling cubes, and the Valk power is the way to go, because otherwise the regular Valk 3 has a bit of a harder plastic, and you can definitely feel that in the turning. So yeah, that is about it for this cube. Super nice out of the box. Alright, so now for the GAN249. Let's go ahead and check this out, see if we can get it out of this packaging. And so I wasn't really extremely impressed with the V1. Here it is. I actually haven't been able to set it up because I tried to unscrew this white side, and once I did that, I think the GES nut actually stripped or something because I couldn't just fully screw it back in again. You can see it's kind of uneven. So yeah, I wasn't able to set it up and get a really well-rounded opinion about it. But out of the box, I wasn't really too happy with that cube. And so here is the V2. Alright, and so here is the puzzle. So right off the bat, these shades are definitely a lot brighter on this one. So there's the blue, definitely a lot brighter, orange, green, white is the same, and yellow is definitely brighter. So I really do love these shades a lot more. And it also has primary internals versus the black ones on the V1, which definitely gives off that illusion that it is a much brighter shade. So here is the puzzle. We'll just go ahead and do some turns. Yeah, I can't really do that many turns on this without being careful, but well, I think from what I remember, the V1 is definitely a lot slower than this is right now, but just because there's the white side that wasn't fully screwed in, it just seems like this is actually pretty fast. But from what I remember from my unboxing of this, it was definitely a lot slower than this is right now. So first impressions, this is definitely faster, but it still has that same overall you know, slightly sandy Fangshi type feeling. I mean, maybe it's just because of the size and the frosted surface that I'm not really that big of a fan of this cube. It is still 49 millimeters, which I don't really understand why GANs is just persisting to keep that size. I think at least 50, even though it is a 1 millimeter difference, you can definitely feel that 1 millimeter difference. So, I mean, it's not a bad cube, but I think with all the other options out there, like the Zinghen, the Wuxia, or the Chu Wen, this one can't really compete with those right now. I mean, yeah, it's not a bad cube. It's smooth. It has a very nice speed compared to the version 1. It's just that the size is not really something a lot of people are going to prefer or choose over other options for 2x2s that we have right now. And yeah, I mean, just personally, I don't really like the frosted surface. It just creates a lot of risk for slipping out of your hands. And so this one, it does have the honeycomb design. Let's see if you can catch that. So yeah, there you go. You can sort of see a glimpse of the honeycomb design right there. I'm not really sure what exact difference that makes. It definitely reduces the friction, but in terms of the feeling, I suppose that's what makes it feel a little bit faster, but it overall still has that same sort of sandy, again, like Fangshi type feeling to it. So I guess we'll just go ahead and check out the corner cutting. Alright, well, I would say this, the corner cutting is definitely a lot better than the V1. Tensions are pretty loose though, so I think considering the tensions, it's not doing too well, but the corner cutting is definitely a lot better than the V1. Reverse. And reverse is kind of lacking compared to other 2x2s, but still, definitely an improvement over the V1. And so overall, it definitely is a lot better than the V1. It's certainly an improvement, but I think, again, comparing it to other 2x2s that we have right now on the market, it's not going to be able to compete with them. There are just a lot better options out there. And I mean, I really commend GAN for trying to upgrade their 2x2. I mean, this one, it was their first try, so I don't think it was too bad for a first try. But it's not really something that's going to be able to compete with other 2x2s that we have right now. And so last puzzle, we have the Galaxy V2 Megaminx. I am super excited for this one. This one should have a smaller size to it, and yeah, right off the bat, it's definitely a lot more comfortable for me. I have the V1 right here, which is, it's not too big for me, but I can definitely feel the size difference. Alright, yeah, there definitely is a difference in the turning, for sure. This one just feels a little bit more substantial, I think is the word for it. It's not having as many catching issues as with the V1, which is the main problem I had with it and why I use the Yuxin Megaminx over this. Oh boy, what I do. But yeah, this one I get sort of a catching problem, and I really think it's because of these tiles here. It kind of gets caught right on this little ledge right here. You can see there's a tiny hole right there, so I really think that creates an opportunity for it to catch. But with this one, it definitely seems like the catching is minimized. Yeah, I'm really not getting any catches at all, honestly. In the turning, it just seems a little bit, like I said, a little bit more substantial. It's not overly fast, but it still is pretty fast and a really good speed. Yeah, you can sort of just hear the difference. In terms of the pure turning that you're feeling, they're both really, really smooth. It's just the sound that each one gives off that's kind of different. And so I personally do think that this is an improvement over the V1. And that's mainly because of the smaller size. It's a little bit more comfortable for me, and the turning is just flowing a lot better. It's not really catching as much. And so I guess if you're choosing between these two, You would have to consider, of course, the size first. If you have slightly bigger hands, maybe look into the V1 instead. But you do have the risk of just getting a lot more catching, which is why I don't use this cube as my main. So we'll see how this one turns out. I'll break it in, do some salsa on it, set it up and all of that. But out of the box, definitely a very, very nice puzzle. And compared to the Yuxin Megaminx, I definitely think that this will be my main over that. Again, I think really just because of the size, it's a lot more comfortable for me. And I guess for table turners, I suppose it's not that great of an option. And so also in the box, you have this little pamphlet thing like you get with the Valk. And so in here, I believe, are extra black pieces. I do know some Megaminxers that like to switch some of the sides to black. And so these are sculpted, yeah. So that's definitely really nice. I personally don't really have any problem with the regular Megaminx scheme. And yeah, these shades are the exact same as the regular V1 Megaminx. Very nice contrast again. So I guess we'll just quickly look at the corner cutting. Wow, it does quite a lot. It is pretty loose too, I guess, but wow, this is just really nice for out of the box tensions. Yeah, the Galaxy V1, it definitely was really good at corner cutting, so it's not really too big of a surprise for me, but it has a very nice stable feeling, and I mean, I think everything about it right now I like. I'll have to see if that changes after I set it up and do some solves with it, but yeah, out of the box seems like a very, very nice puzzle, so I would definitely recommend getting it. Alright, so that is about it for this unboxing. 249, not really too impressed, but it definitely is an improvement over the V1, but still not really something that I would necessarily recommend, honestly. Cosmic Valk Power M, amazing because of the Cosmic setup. And as for the Megaminx, I think this one also is a very nice contender as a Megaminx main for me. I know I'm not especially great at Megaminx, but still, I think this will probably get me into the event. And I also forgot to mention that SpeedCubeShop does have a new design for their business card, which is really, really nice looking, very nice and sleek. But yeah, that is about it for this unboxing, so let me know if you want to see any update videos on any of these puzzles. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.